like to dance unless I'm standing in the sun, and it's no fun to shake it when you're the only one. But I feel that life is what you make it, so you take it in your hands and shape it as you try to understand. I said, yeah, take it in your hands and shape it as you try to understand.
So we actually have a good 30 people in here at one time between this, which is heated and insulated, so we get to work year round. Between this and the cold storage, 30 people can fit in here. A little tight, but we get them all working.
Nice. And yeah, and then so the kids will come up and work on bikes, and they earn a bike by helping with the inner tubes or building up bikes for the younger kids. And
of course, I've got
you help them with the wrenches
I
and
always
learn
come
what
over
they're
here
doing.
to the freezer.
Popsicle.
Gotta
with it.
have your popsicles,
especially
in the summertime.
Yeah. What do you offer them in the winter?
They don't come in the winter. Just those old Air Force people. And then we do a batch of chili for them. We ended up getting a couple of canopies for their 10 by 10. That's for our event, for our annual Yellow Bike Run. So we have one at each end of off the bike path. Imagine, if you will, it was the first nice day down in February. I was sitting out on my deck down in one of these trailer courts in Box Elder, South Dakota, and some kid came walking by. I didn't think much of it. He went walking by and down the alley. A couple minutes later, he come back. I didn't think anything of it. About 10 minutes later, here he comes again. So I stopped and asked him, "How come you're not out there riding your bike?" We don't have bikes anymore. The last landlord took and sold them because we were behind on rent. I kind of felt it prudent to do something for the community at that point. We try to do 2 bicycle races and rodeos every year. And that's where we'll set up a concourse out in a parking lot. Like we did one for the Rapid Valley Elementary.
Okay.
And we have these two ramps that we set up in the concourse, just a horseshoe, just to give the kids something to do. It only takes up about 40 different parking spaces. Make it as big as possible, because boy, once those kids go through that thing, they line up to get into the circle. It's a huge. And Don't Dump Your Melon is the other one. And that's where the hospital, Rapid City Regional Hospital, ended up with a grant for all these helmets to just be given away. I mean, my gosh, what was the last grant? $19,000 or something like that? I believe that's what it was. And that's all going for free helmets for kids. Well, we set up a rodeo for them out in Kohl's parking lot. Kohl's is the one that gave them the grant. So we do whatever we can for the community in that regard. We try to do at least two a year. Well, this all started back in 1996 when my wife said, get a hobby. I come from a family of 14 kids, and between my brother and I, we were constantly working on bicycles. So we, of course, went throughout the neighborhood collecting all the old bikes, and we turned around and fixed as many up as possible as we could. Thank you, bro. That wasn't my brother that helped me. It was my younger brother than him. So here's where we started the Yellow Bike program in Hill City, which is up in the hills. It's only about 30 miles from here.
Okay.
On the other side of the Mount Rushmore, if you will. And we had the bike program up there we tried it a summer. It didn't work. Kids were throwing them off bridges into the creek.
And you used to paint them all yellow.
Yeah. Like I said, we took off the derailleurs, chunk of chain, and
made
put them into the third gear.
Made them single speeds, had brakes on them.
Right. We're currently at our third location. The first one we just simply outgrew in that small little trailer court. We finally ended up getting 9.5 acres up here off of Radar Hill Road overlooking Box Elder. It's a beautiful view you can see for 100 miles. We ended up with an anonymous $10,000 donation for a pole barn from a couple up in Lead. So I went around and I contacted the governor of the state at the time, and he sent me a carpenter, a concrete worker, and an electrician out of the state pen to do the labor on it. Well, he had to up the ante. He turned around and sent us a bloody computer, and now I can't keep my wife off of it.
That's the 3 inmates that I told you about.
That built the pole barn.
To date, which is the 9th month now, September of 2009, we've received a little over 60,000 bicycles from the people just dropping them off left and right. We average now about 3 a day during the summer. Out of that, we've given away a little over 6,000 bicycles to date to the needy. These go to the Cornerstone Rescue Mission, the homeless. And I'll try and put as many baskets on as possible.
Okay, so you give some to the rescue mission,
right,
and then you give like kids' bikes to what was it called again?
The Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots.
That and Make-A-Wish Angel Tree.
Okay.
We find the recipients through different organizations such as foster children, the Boys Club, the Girls Club, the YMCA. One of our biggest ones is behavioral management. They get drunk, they get their license yanked from them. Well, they need transportation, so what a better way to get to and from work than a bicycle. Of course, we run by monetary donations. People can either come up and work off a bicycle, or they can leave a monetary donation for them. It all depends on what they pick out as far as the price goes. Typically, I let them have it for like $10 an hour as far as labor costs goes. For some of these kids that come up here, it's the first time they ever pick up a wrench or a screwdriver. And if I see they're capable, I'll have them do like 1 or 2 other bikes for like the 4 and the 5-year-old kids. That way they kind of earn a bike. When we did move up here, instead of hauling those, we had at the time about 1,000 bicycles. Well, I turned around and called the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, and between them and another reservation, they ended up getting over, they took 700 of my big old pile. But what I do is at the end of the year, I get the Air Force Base to come up, and they have to do one community service project before they graduate from the Air Force. So they come up for like 4 hours, a class of like 27 students, and they'll fix as many bicycles as possible. This would range between 30 and 40. And we've had them up here now 4 times, so actually a couple of times a year is what they plan on have them doing. So, and then we fix everything up and we donate it to Toys for Tots at the end of the year. That way we start fresh every year.
And we get kids that have to do that even have to do community service work. They'll come up, and these are just some local kids. They decided to give us a helping hand after the pole barn was built.
And they can work and earn.
Right. We have hoop dancers at our event. That is the band shell here in Rapid City, Memorial Park band shell.
Okay.
A family of hoop dancers comes up and does their thing.
Nice. And you got the shirts.
And that is my shop foreman as of now. He comes out on a volunteer basis and just whenever. Sometimes a couple times a week. And that is where the Air Force Base will come out, and the class will come out and they'll do as many bicycles as possible, between 30 and 40.
And these are
that's
like
them working on
new like the new trainees of the Air Force.
Right.
To
Right.
graduate the training program.
Right.
That's some piles of bikes.
Yeah, at one time we've had over 1,000 bicycles in this yard.
And there's one more thing. This is all the Lord's doing. I'm just the middleman.
All right. Nice.